it's going to be a heal-off final zone with someone up top and someone underneath in the shelter. I think that's
You think
what's
so?
going to happen. Yeah, I'm calling it right now. Right here in stage 3. It's 100% guaranteed. The only time
you gotta stop saying it's guaranteed when you call stuff.
We've only ever seen 1 0 elimination chicken dinner. And that happened on, well, it was on Sandhawk. Back in the day when we still had that as a map in the rotation, with 1 player down in cave. I loved it.
Yeah, he's playing in this lobby right now.
I know.
Who is it?
Huh?
Who is it?
It's the Virtus Pro boys, isn't it?
But which one?
Sure. Ooh, I can't remember which one. Definitely one of them.
Oh, you've been found wanting.
Ooh.
It was
no, hang on a minute. Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. Let's see if we can do it again.
Let's see. Let's see. Over towards the north side is DRX coming down from Mansion. Again, pretty open zone, so they'll have to kind of transition round. They could play west side of the road, which is a little bit of a lip to play off the back of. It's not ideal though, because the circle's likely to move off that position, but it will give them some safety into the future. I'll tell you what, right now it's not looking enjoyable playing down towards the south.
No, it's pretty crammed, pretty difficult sight lines to stay away from. But the center's not looking too favorable either. I mean, it is a lot of open ground around this shelter area. Those entrances really providing a lot of cover for those teams. But look at the crashes starting to come through. I mean, 2 players crashing in for the Burmese schools, and we're coming back up to the northeast. Oh dear. Make up your mind, Mr. Circle. Oh, they just can't figure it out. Twisted Mind's very happy about this. In their compound, they should feel pretty good with themselves. A nade around the side, but it's shot from Godspeed to be able to land over towards Bose. And that's a flush immediately. The nade's over towards Win, not going to find their way through. Who's hocking those ones over then? Is that Geeke? Is that the backlines of Geeke putting more nades in?
It feels like an overinvestment. I feel like they could just clear the angle potentially as a 2-man, but I mean, you're walking so close to this. Yeah, finally. Yeah, they did, by the way. You're right. You're right. Finally, it's got done. I think there was like 8 or 9 grenades sent that way. Just a lot to be sending in. DRX rocking up over towards Influence Rage. For them, this is a big pickup. It's a very big pickup. Sadly, there is a lot of other players all taking shots down towards this position. Goodness me, that's a terrifying noise to be hearing. For Twisted Minds, this is a big chance for them. A big chance for their region as well to do them proud. I think there was a lot of hopes riding on Twisted Minds in terms of them as a team. Freak and Lord rejoining at Pmgc is a really cool sight to see for me. But I want to see them go a little bit further than that. Honestly, right now down at 24 points is not where I expected them to finish.
No, it's below par. It is below par. It's not a happy time. But this is Pmgc. You know, these are the best in the world at what they do. It's not always easy to find your way through, even if you are the best in your region. With previous showings, with previous experience, it's a new game every year. And you need to be adaptable to it. At the moment, it doesn't seem like they're quite up to that task. On the north side of this circle, there's a lot of open ground. And maybe VP could stretch out towards it, but Alliance kind of have the run-outs from Prison all the way up covered. And Regnum Kaya have sort of been the slowest team to move from the north to the hard southwest shift, but that's now benefited them because of this this back shift from the circle, moving all the way back out to those fields. It's made life a little bit tricky for a lot of our teams. here.
Especially down towards the south side. Like I said, around prison, like it's that slope that comes down. You can see right here on screen, which, you know, so beautifully displays it for us. But True Rippers sort of wanted them to push down a little bit sooner off the back of this. E-Arena's got very good sightlines on this one. See ETSH just like flying around in circles, attempting to not get shot at. It's like, I'm sorry, I've got some bad news for you. This is so open.
Oh no, oh no. Oh,
It doesn't help driving back and forth. You're still in open sightlines. Oh, dear me.
They are absolutely getting battered on that south side. I mean, maybe they'll find a way through, maybe not. Hey, there's a little bit of a knock over towards E-Arena coming through from the Burmese Ghouls, who are crunching in the west side of things. Weibo right now with the northernmost shelter entrance hold. They are feeling pretty good about themselves. They're watching all of this happen. They know they're potentially going to be able to pick up all the pieces from this as well, and fight on from that position on the south edge, which is not a terrible spot to be in at all if you can get rid of all these teams to your south. And that is the big challenge here. Arcred, they want to start. This is a flex out, a solo position, and the nades do find their way down.
He's able to hit a full-on strike with that one. Might even get the knock and the flush. But not meant to be, as Safji's able to saddle his way round some cover. So pick back up again. His Weibo on the other side as a four-man, attempting to not nade each other this game. The Burmese Ghouls do make their way up into a shelter of their own. It's very much on the edge of the circle. You can see just how disgusting a lot of this map is, where you have 16s all in one location. We're heading over towards Museum here. The RX already losing a player. The slightly late smoke, commiseration smoke, let's say. An Alliance once again being put to bed by Regnum Kaya.
Now on the northern side, a big crash from Alliance over towards Regnum Kaya, and it does not go their way. They pick up all of those. I think they managed to keep everyone alive there as well on the hold. We're taking shots every which way, though, and it's really E-Arena on that south side who are going to have the majority of the focus on them. They've got 2 players left standing as ETSH finally falls. Nades coming through, and Easy for Bad Boy is putting such a pinch on this fight. It is made so difficult. And again, it's Weibo who are just profiting off of this. They're holding everyone out on that south edge. True Rippers finally slide on past and might actually be into a bit of a winner here if they can keep things going. The Burmese Ghouls have to send down into the trenches. Dirty K with the shotgun challenge, and his teammate not going to be able to find it. Sorry, what teammate? It's True Rippers teammates who are going to be falling there. Virtus Pro chiming in, Arcred as well. Goodness me. Tony K just about clinging on there.
I mean, Virtus Pro was very selective the way they dealt with that one and left Tony K to live another day and just sent all the shots over towards True Rippers. And that's the angle from that eastern side. I mean, this is the best thing that Virtus Pro can do here. Now, here's the prediction, though, is that the next few minutes, Virtus Pro is going to make a big crash and die.
Okay, all right. Well, where are they gonna crash? I think is the bigger prediction, right? I think that you could definitely say that True Rippers cannot deal with 30k today. Oh no, Jelly able to shut it down, but there's that Voston pickoff on the back lines. They do take all of the True Rippers out of action. Tony K falls as well, so E-Arena drawn short. Regnum Kaya on the hunt for their first place spot. A little bit of ascendancy at the start of today with 2 Erengols back-to-back on big games potential for a big points tally earned by Regnum Kaya. As the circle shifts away from them, though. And this might be the time to crash towards Twisted Minds, or do you wait a little bit later and try and go out to the fields?
For Twisted Minds, the only difficulty is the DRX is on the south side, so if Regnum Kaya did want to try and crash over towards the north side of it, they could potentially get something done there, but it looks like they're going to try and wrap around towards the east here, John, instead. At least 2 of the players sent out as outposts. Milky Way, do they see the vehicle? Is the vehicle hidden? Because as soon as they see the vehicle, they'll probably know a player is there.
Milky Way on the move. Virtus Pro. They haven't gone for their crash yet. I'm still waiting for it. They're sort of slowly pushing into that fight on the south side to have an impact, but what more they can do. Hot Red, I mean, they've been flexing out down here for so long, and they want like, oh no, we need more elims for this. Come on, Easy for Bad Boy went down. We need some value. Let's get stuck in. And they're waiting. To their credit, they are waiting. Oh, here comes the Virtus Pro crash. Blank, they're going into Weibo on that northern shelter hold. Let's see if they succeed. Are they going to prove you wrong? Because a lot as well, but Virtus Pro, they get torn up from some which way. I think that's the Burmese Ghouls. 2 of their players are down as well. Now it's up to 33Z to hold down his team as Milky Way lights up the ground floor. Maybe he's going to send downstairs to go for that heal off after all, but no, has to stop because there's a Molotov in the way. Virtus Pro, it's not a full wipe, and they might actually get the reset.
Yeah, it's not horrendous. They do get some points off the back of that. Now the rest of the team is looking to push downstairs. They did get themselves back up into position. A nade goes long. It's not enough. Luckily, Hero attempts to get one down. Will pick up the point for his troubles. And there is a reset available there for Virtus Pro.
Not with the Burmese Ghouls pressure on, though. They actually fell in behind them, and Virtus Pro are downstairs, picking up players, trying to get out of there. Arcred all the while are suffering. They tried to get stuck into the fight. They've only got 4 elims for it right now, Blank, as Weibo have been displaced from this northern side. It is a scrabble for the spot. Burmese Ghouls want to go a little bit further in. Let's see what more they can do, but on the outside, Regnum Kaya did go for the fields. They're playing a 2-2 split again.
Yeah, fair enough. They're just controlling a lot of the zone. They really are controlling a lot of the zone. I think that they can see that Twisted Minds is so unwilling to leave that outpost and get anything done. I feel like if you were Twisted Minds, you'd look to try and clear DRX a little bit sooner and then control where Regnum Kaya was coming in from. Instead, now, Regnum Kaya just has a absolute freebie of a lobby, and still Twisted Minds are doing nothing.
A little bit passive from them. DRX are on the wall, but Virtus Pro, anything but passive. Burmese Ghouls cannot get through them. And they're still down in the tunnels here, Blank. Regnum Kaya actually have now transitioned all the way down south. They are sat atop the pack. And it's going to go well for them. They're just going to keep everybody in. I mean, maybe they don't really have too much of a choice against the last player from Arcred. But that is what you're looking for. Across the way, DRX going down does mean Twisted Minds might find the confidence to get out of there, but Zedwolf just has the angle.
He's gonna keep spraying as well. There's no reason not to keep spraying this angle. He'd love to get that pick off there. If you can weaken the museum team, their end game becomes so much more simple, and they can continue to sweep. This might be the back-to-back here for Regnum Kaya. I think they may have cracked the code, John. Good preemptive nade over to Saf G, actually.
Pretty huge. Hardboy did take some shots over towards them before, so they're aware of his position. And to get out of there, yeah, it's not going to happen. You're just not going to be able to find it. On the downstairs, the man himself does emerge into the light of day. The Regnum Kaya are ready to greet them. However, maybe they regret that. They didn't need to step too far forward. Zedwolf goes very, very low, but Wild is holding his nerve, moves in, and there's a refrag coming on through, though, for Voston, who stays alive and gets 2 elims. Pouring on into the Virtus Pro bank right now. He's the last player alive, and Regnum Kaya are getting ruined on the run out from Virtus Pro. They had it all under control, but it's gone to pot now, and Wild cannot find Voston out in the open. It's Twisted Minds who are going to be able to pick this one up.
Foster was so hungry for the elims there, dude. He was so hungry for the elims. We'll pick up a couple. I think Wild was slightly far away trying to set up the nade. The nade comes through slightly late for Regnum Kaya. Now, Twisted Minds technically should win this game, but they've got really no utility to speak of.
Ooh, you're right. And I mean, they've lost their forward position as really inaccessible. Voston and Wild, their duel is still going. As Voston has the Molotov, Wild will be forced back behind the buggy. Voston trying to spray, but steps up into the sightlines of Twisted Minds. Can't afford to go for it, but Wild takes the bullets too. And now Silas is all alone. Virtus Pro have turned the tables.
Yeah, it's Shudo actually getting that shot over towards Wild. from Twisted Mind. Silas wasn't quite able to hold that angle. Good shot towards Freak to start things off, but I think Voston should be coming through with the backstab very soon.
Not quite.
Oh, he
got the
sets
vehicle
himself
covered.
up behind it. Smart.
Move out for Walsh is interesting there. Silas dips down, maybe looking for the push out further. Voston on high, doesn't stop the res onto Walsh, but he doesn't need to because Lord decided, you know what? I'm actually just going to go and fight this instead. I'm not going to go for the res. Twisted Minds, I mean, no utility is really, really rough, and he goes for the shots underneath. Voston, the Jewel Meister, looks for more, but Lord is able to do what Wild could not there. Virtus Pro, 12 elims though. It's as good as we've seen them, and they'll be happy with that. Up into top 3 though for Arcred, who he's been chilling behind this rock for a long time.
Yeah, can Arcred do something? Anything would be great at this point. He's gonna have to move. I think he has had an angle onto Chudo at some point during this game. Oh, Silas isn't investing in the first aid kit or some bandages. Finally looking for something. Come on, hard boy. This is your chance. It's a free. That's a free shot. It's a free shot.
He doesn't want it. He's waiting for a better deal. I mean, Silas is closest to the center of everyone here by a hair, but other players are going to have to move slightly before him.
It's all down to gun skill because there is no nades. And now we're in zone 9. It's a big task ahead here for Silas. Hardboy will have to move out into open ground. Maybe a little bit of a distraction here for Silas potentially.
I think Tudor might be very preoccupied with Silas and might not spot him. Oh, he doesn't know. He's complete broadside. Step up, go for the spray. Hard boy doesn't connect though, and now the Tudor answered. Not quite. Silas could go for it though and find Hard Boy. It's a 1v1v1 out in the open, and Silas puts them up to 12. He's slightly more central, and Lord has to push towards him. Oh, this is a nightmare for Twisted Minds. Silas might be able to do it, but no. Lord is closer to the center here. Silas will have to move first. He has to step up. This is going to be an impossible challenge. Surely Silas can't do this.
Oh, he just has to hit the shots. It's the thing. But he won't be able to do it, and Twisted Minds will able to be finishing out this game. But what a messy ending that was. A lack of control there from Twisted Minds, in my opinion.
Second place, though, with 12 elims at the end there, Blank. That is a brilliant back-to-back performance from Regnum Kaya. But you're right. Twisted Minds, no presence, really no aura in that game, and they needed it. Unfortunately, for everyone else, it was just a little bit too good of a position.
Yeah, very nice there from Regnum Kai overall. Like I said, Silas in a extremely fun little end game. For Hardboy, gives me with guys shaking at the end there with the amount of adrenaline going through him. That spray was awkward. Had to even go for the full spray reset to get it done. But yeah, for Twisted Minds, I want to see a little bit more out of them there. They do get the win after all. For some teams, that's all that's needed to get that confidence back on board. It's like you got to get the old shoelaces done. That is important. But yeah, I do think that game in particular, VP do a very good job as well to get some more points. It was much more convincing from VP that game overall, which I was happy with.
Well, they do close it down from the museum. They're able to put everyone else down in the dirt, but only just for Twisted Minds.
And Twisted Minds finally secure their first chicken dinner for this PMGC. This squad was all the way down in 13th place. I gotta say, I mean, it looked a little shaky there for a second, Max, man, but this was a huge win for the squad.
I mean, they had so much control and they gave it up, and because of that, they lost a lot of their forces, a lot of their players in the process. And luckily enough, There was Lord. He was able to redeem it in this game versus Silas. That 1v1, I'm telling you, the high ground is not there, or Silas has a single smoke Niptura. Maybe that win doesn't quite go the way of Twisted Minds, and maybe we'd be looking at a Regnum back-to-back chicken play. But there is a limit that 4 players can do, and I feel like here they bit down almost more than they can actually chew.
Yeah, I think it really just came down to not really being able to have those angles covered by their teammates, right? But they do get it in the end, and they were able to just get that win. That's exactly what they needed right now. You know, they were sitting in the bottom 5, not really sure what to do next. And this game, hopefully, is going to be the turning point for them. The game that gets them that springboard effect to just move on and do better things in the next game.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Lord and Freak in particular, absolute OGs, right, from the MENA region. They're going to be over the moon after to finally get themselves this chicken dinner. And, you know, they were at the bottom of the rankings, Hot Juke. So getting this win, actually, I do wonder how high are they truly going to stand on the rankings after this?
That's what I'll say. This is a huge win for the squad. I mean, they were in a big threat-like position. They were all the way down in 13th. So this is going to definitely put them in a shot here, right, for getting into that last chance. So a good win. You know, they did take that museum spot. That's crazy plays here. Not to mention Regnum Karya. Just so many eliminations in this game, Max, man. They got to be pushing themselves up even higher in the leaderboards from the last game. I
mean, Regnum Karya getting eliminations or Wild getting eliminations?
That's true. Yeah.
He was like, what, 7, 8 eliminations this game? He was on fire. He was learning from his teammate from earlier. On that previous chicken dinner on our angle. So very nice stuff indeed. DRX though, big send right onto this area on Museum, sharing it with the likes of Twisted Minds. And I was actually surprised, Niptura, that Twisted Minds were willing to kind of share that wall with DRX. I thought they would just nade them to hell and just take that position for themselves.
I kind of like it though, to be honest, because it meant that they were not going to attack themselves, right? I think there was a lot of teams on all sides that meant DRX couldn't really make a move. And Twisted were allowing that to happen just because it meant safety for themselves. They didn't do much and push when they knew 2 teams were there. So actually DRX's position meant that they were able to keep relatively safe, but a lot of emotions going on here. It's a good thing they won, because goodness me, there's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. I mean, Voston, how the hell was he able to sneak out of shelter? He just came around and just got rid of most of Regnum Karya on his lonesome. Really good stuff from him in particular. But I don't know how he got through. He just disappeared and reappeared, and boom, 1v2. Easily secured for this guy as you go through the rotations. And I want us to all pay attention here to how Regnum Karya played their early to mid-game transition in particular. So, of course, Regnum Karya usually playing Rozok, early transition, circle not too far away, quick pivot. And they go for this amazing 2-2 split with 2 players in heaven on the northern side and 2 players going into the southern compound. There's just literally 1 building and a few walls around it. And this gives them 100% vision on what the hell is happening on the northern edge of the circle, which then enables them to go for the best rotation possible. Regrouping, they've seen all the fights that were happening on the southern edge, and they go for this wide eastern rotation next to Shelter Niptura. I think that was literally the best macro rotation we saw the entire match from Regnum Karya this game.
Yeah, it was really well played, and well played because it was really well thought out. They had the information necessary to make that play work for them, and then sending Silas center just in case, right, was actually what gave them the almost win, right? Some really from him. And look at the points it gets him, Jukes. 18 on the board to come right a 28-point game. I mean, it's nearly over 40 points that they've gotten in just 2 games.
That's it. Regnum Karya, they've downloaded the lobby. They have downloaded the technology for sure. The update is installed and ready to go. I mean, they didn't win the chicken dinner and still got the most points in this game, Max. And you can just tell by the way they're playing this. I think they've just understood, okay, this lobby is a lot slower than before, you know?
Yeah.
All we got to do is just take our time, pick our positions, and let our gun skill do the talking. And man, they're making it happen there.
The timing at which they take fights in particular, Hodgix, is just so good. That fight on Shelter was timed beautifully. The fight is happening. There's Weibo, there's Virtus Pro. The teams are deep inside of Shelter. They're like, hey, you can't fight back. That's when we're going to push and engage you. And that timing was A-OK from this squad. Here we go, though. MVP is Lord. And it's good to see Niptura. Lord, finally, you know, on an MVP graphic. It's been a while. But you know what? He's building back that team synergy, and he's finally back on board here for PMGC.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to see them back on where we expected them to be. Hopefully this is going to be just the game, the start of their next journey forward into that maybe top 3, you know, still could be done here as we look at the overalls. And I am looking at Twisted. They are in the top 11 now, but Regnum Karya straight to the top. EA, after 8-9 matches, have finally been dethroned. And it is Regnum Karya, Max.
Lock it in. Lock it in. Regnum Karya in first place, looking mighty fine here going into the second half of this tournament. Guys, we're going to be right back after this short break. Get your popcorn, get your drinks, and we'll be back in a minute.
galiba.
Alo. Anneciğim ne yapıyorsun?
Anneciğim. İyiyim bebeğim. Sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyi ben de çok iyiyim valla. Maçları izledin mi?
Oo izledim. Ben olur mu? Kalp krizleri geçirdim ben burada. Bana ikiye çıktınız, ikinci oldunuz, geri üçe düştünüz, geri ikiye çıktınız. Ben kalp krizi geçiriyordum ya. yani o sıra. Neyse mutluyum annem. O da diyorum ya 3 gün formayla takıldı.
Vallahi
3 gün formayla gezdim. İş yerinde de görmüyor musun? Resim atıyorum ya iş durmadan.
iş yerinde de formayla yani şey yaptın değil mi? Formayla gittin.
Evet. Evet.
İyi, sen ne yapıyorsun?
İyiyim anneciğim. Özledim seni, sadece seni özlüyorum.
Ben de seni özledim vallahi.
Aradım akşam, bakmadım hayırlı olsun demek için.
Uyumuşum, bir de uyuyakalmışım.
Ben de dedim kutlamaya mı gittiler, ne yaptılar bunlar dedim.
Öyle işte.
Tamam anneciğim.
Tamam.
Seni seviyorum, öpüyorum.
Ben de seni seviyorum, öptüm hadi.
Hadi arkadaşlarına çok çok selam söyle.
Aleykümselam.
Yok annem, canın sağlığı. Bunları da tebrik ettiğimi söyle, ilet hepsine tek tek.
Tamam, aleykümselam. Onların da selamı var sana.
Tamam, aleykümselam anneciğim, hadi görüşürüz.
Hadi görüşürüz, öptüm, bay bay.
Welcome back to the halfway mark of day 2 of Group Red. I got none other than Boston from Virtus Pro with me. This is a team that you guys came in as champions of CSA, what many consider to be one of the hardest regions in the world, honestly, for PUBG Mobile esports. You fell short in the gauntlet, and in Group Red, day 1, you definitely fell short. In day 2, there seems to be a bit of a resurgence from the squad. What's been the underlying issue for VP?
Так, Востон, вы пришли в этот турнир как чемпионы ПМСЛ Центральная и Южная Азия, что является одним из сильнейших регионов, и не справились с Gauntlet Stage, а сейчас испытываете немного трудностей в групповой стадии. Как ты думаешь, какие причины вашей команды?
Ну, в целом, Gauntlet Stage для нас задался сначала... Ну, первый день был неплохой, остальные дни нам просто не везло. Мы делали мувы, играли не командно. Мы разобрали, зашли в Group Stage, но также испытывали трудности. Вот. Сейчас команда чувствует себя отлично, мы провели разбор. Вот. Ну, мы просто в целом устали. Перед ПМСЛ у нас была очень плотная подготовка. Перед Pmgc также очень плотная подготовка была. Сейчас мы выдохнули и с новыми силами на второй день зашли. Показываем, я считаю, нашу игру. И то, что если мы не камбэкнем в топ-3, то на лast шансе мы будем бороться за 2 слота.
So we just a little bit burned out after the Gauntlet because we got a hard schedule before the Pmgc and also before the PMSL. And now we talked with our teams after the Gauntlet what we're gonna do in group stage, and if we will fail to be on top 3, we'll try our best in the last chance. So it's because we're just a little bit tired and we just burned out. So now everything is okay. We're gonna do our best.
That's fair. There's a lot of factors that go when you go to such a big event like Pmgc, the biggest one we have of the year as well. And you were talking about wanting to be in top 3, or if you fell from top 3. Well, I got some stats for you. You are currently 39 points away from third place and 11 points, or just actually 1 point away from 11th place. What is the team looking to do with 9 matches remaining of Group Red to make sure that you get to third place?
До третьего места, до топ-3 у вас 39 всего лишь поинтов осталось, а чтобы спуститься, 11 поинтов. Какие планы на последние 9 матчей у вас? Может, вы поменяете общий подход или игровой стиль?
Мы будем также продолжать, как мы будем также продолжать играть хорошо, как вот эти первые 3 игры. Мы делаем все отлично по карте, все понимаем, все друг друга хорошо себя чувствуют. Все у нас хорошо. Мы будем также продолжать хорошо просто играть, и все. Такие вот планы.
We will try as first 3 matches today, continue to dominate, and we'll do our best and try to continue as first 3 matches. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to try to continue what you were able to do in the first 3 matches. Well, we already had a resurgence from a PMSL champion like Rangnam Karya. We're trying to see if Virtus Pro can actually continue to bounce back and make it to the top 3. We have 9 matches left, 3 matches left today for Group Red. Let's see what Virtus Pro can do. Spasiba, Voston.
Hey, you may have been feeling a little bit of burnout early on, but you know what? I got the medicine for you, and that's the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025, engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and outplay the rest on the global stage, man. So get your hands on one of those as fast as you can here, because we got to talk about Virtus Pro. You know, day one, what's going on, right? Day two, I saw some pretty crazy rotations, right? But I'll tell you what, so far they had 8 points on day one. Now they're at 30. What was it? They had quite a bit. Yeah. So as a matter of 39. So 31 on the day. That's 10 points a game so far. So a huge resurgence for the squad here in Neptura.
Yeah, really, really nice to see. We were talking about how, man, they just weren't able to get all 4 players to the end stage, right? And today, 2 out of 3 games, they've been able to do that. And 2 out of 3 games, we've seen them in the top 5 with a lot of eliminations. Yeah. This is exactly what we wanted to see from VP Max.
So pretty much they're having a day one every game. you look at it.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah, more than that. They're doing more than a day one in every single game. Look at that. Really good performance. So definitely really happy with Virtus Pro. And of course, you know, they said it's a little bit tough going to a LAN event and stuff. So they're in the thick of things now. They're fully ready. They're fully prepared. And they are going to be continuing their ascent towards the top. Still can't believe we got Arcred losing 2 players. So watching these replays on that first angle. But no, these circles have been interesting, and you know what? A team that I was hoping to see a bit more from, because we hyped them up a lot, Neptura, at the start of the day. It was Influence Rage, especially the team that dominated, getting a chicken dinner and a 2nd place on a wrangle. So far, sorry to say, kind of non-existent, and they've been slipping when Regnum Karia are stepping up.
Yeah, it has been interesting to watch that happen, right? And it's not even a thing of, oh, they're trying to do big plays and it's just not working out. We've barely seen them at all here. On the Ronda, we did see them a little bit there in that top 3, but on both Erangel so far, it's just been quiet, dead silent from them. So I want to see maybe what's going on with them. I'm going to pay attention to them a little bit more in the next game. But it has been a weird thing. So that's where Alliance also, we just saw them go out there to Twisted Minds at Museum, because I was wondering what the heck happened. I loved seeing the different side of them, because in the first episode, they were very compact, and then they lose the 1v4. But then they come over to the next Erangel, and immediately they're spreading out over that eastern side in that last game. You know, they got a big split going. So I was like, okay, cool. Really good from them. They switched tactics there a little bit. I liked that, but unfortunately that play just not going to be panning out for them, unfortunately there, Max.
Yeah, I mean, looking at also our top performers here, top players of this previous match is going to be Silas also up there, which I'm pretty sure, you know, is one of his teammates, or most of his teammates have been popping off today. But it's good to see Silas step up, because I still see some people around saying like, oh, Silas is just getting carried by Wild, Locks Easy, and stuff. Like, no, bro, like, sure, he's an IGL, so he doesn't have to be like, you know, the big frag of the squad. But man, this guy back in the day was one of the best fraggers out there. Put some respect on Silas's name. Like, when he has to step up and pop off, he will pop off. Okay, do not doubt Silas. Okay,
dude. If anybody felt doubts after that, watching that last end game, Neptura, right? I mean, he shut them all up, man, by himself, making it happen, extending his team out towards the later, you know, parts of that match, and shutting down some players in the process. I mean, it was close. I mean, I don't know if anybody else was like me, but I saw him in that 1v1 situation. Even though he was at a disadvantage, I was like, he wins these. You know, it was close.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he nearly won the whole game for the rest of his squad. And yeah, maybe he didn't put up the amount of eliminations in that game that we saw from some of his teammates. But might I just remind you, in Erangel number 1, he basically took out Geeke single-handedly. We're talking about the Loxy 1v4 onto Alliance. He took out Geeke nearly on his own there. So Silas just as good as every single other one of his teammates when it comes to that fragging power. So 110%, man. Nah, Silas is as good as he ever was.
110. Right. Maybe, what about 120? 130?
120. No. You know what?
10 million %.
The sky's the limit when it comes to Silas.
I love it, man. VP though, honestly, that's a really cool storyline, because right now they're still on that cutoff. They're in 12th place, right? But to go from 8 points to 39 in just 3 games, it's definitely something we got to talk about here, because if they get another chicken dinner in this game, I mean, they could possibly even make a run for top 3.
I mean,
Possible.
the thing is, the games we've had so far from them today have been here to try and kind of redeem, what are they doing over there? Trying to redeem what happened in day 1, and they've done that. They're back in the race. They're back in a position where one next big follow-up performance in Iptura, middle of the rankings, or if not even higher. So currently the setup from Virtus.pro is there, but you need a follow-up. You need to see more. The second half, if it's as good as the first half, I'm telling you, they might not be that far off from top 3, and that would be one of the biggest comebacks so far this PMGC.
I 100% agree. I was just looking at those numbers, right? And it would be kind of crazy with VP in 39 and Flash in 78 in that top 3 to really go, oh, VP could make top 3. But then we have to remember, once again, they had 8 points. They had 8 points. Now they have 39. It is not inconceivable that in another 3 matches, they could be 4th place with, 70, 60 points, something like that. It's not inconceivable for this team.
Yeah, I mean, 18 points in the last game was huge for them. I mean, so right now, let's do that math, right? Flash, 3rd place, 78. VP, 39. So that's literally, VP has to double their points to catch up to Flash. So they need 39 points to get up to 3rd place. And a 20-point game, right, will get in that conversation. The hard part is like, yeah, it's 39 points, but we're pretty sure Flash, Influence, Rage, all those teams are going to probably get some points here and now as well. So that gap's going to grow, right? But
true.
If we're going to even talk about that possible comeback from VP, like let's just do a little bit of like theory crafting. Honestly, I'm at that point to where they definitely need probably 10 points a game for the rest of the day, and then at least one 20-point game in my eyes.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think you're right. They've got to get at least one big win, and then they've got to get the 2 other matches into top 5 at least. Like, it's got to be a very, very strong performance for them to do that. Based off what we've seen the first half of the day, it's possible, but to continue that, I mean, you're gonna have to do the same sort of thing as Influence, Rage, and EA and Flash even in day 1, right, yesterday. So that kind of consistency is pretty rare, and for VP, it's possible, but is it really gonna happen, Max?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Would be great to see that step up continue, but a little hard. Also not.
Oh, you know what? Hard back to you, brother.
PMGC, look at that. I'm not going to be wholesome though. DRX, what's going on? What's happening? Come on, we need to see South Korea step up. We had D+ do it back in their respective group of Group Green, and DRX. To be completely fair, looking at the gauntlet, I was like, man, they're going to make in gauntlet top 7, easy, no doubt in my mind. Didn't make it. And now they're just middling performance. This is not the DRX that I see that just normally does so well globally once they step outside of South Korea. And right now, what is that, 9th position? Right now, 50 points? We know DRX can achieve so much more. And I know it's easy to say like, oh, we expected more from them. But they're not going for these fights. For example, that push on Museum versus Twisted Minds in that previous game. They just send on the wall. I was like, but you're not, even if you just survive, like, you're not going to get anything of massive value out of that. I want to see you try and wrestle Museum away from Twisted Mind, crash in the building, take the fight, take the risk. Because unfortunately, if you keep playing these positions where you just, oh, let's try and survive a little bit deeper in this game, well, unfortunately, top 3 for me is just not in the cards with the current caliber of gameplay we've witnessed from DRX.
You know, one thing I realized, Max, man, is especially in this lobby, I don't really feel. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if this was a different lobby, maybe that DRX push on the Museum has a slight chance of working, because some teams are like, oh, you know what? They're on the outside. We're here. We're just going to coexist and win the game together, right? But that's just not happening here in Iptura, right? So, I mean, it's a crazy play, by the way. It's super risky. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I can't try to figure out why they would do that push anyway, you know, because, yeah, they like, why not just go take it to Twisted Minds and try to make something happen here. But you know what, guys? Quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Pro çok iyi oynadı. DX zaten.
I don't think any PMSL champion teams are stronger than us.
ممكن اقول لرؤوف طور لعبك لانه حبي احنا جايين ندمرك. بالتاكيد يعني احنا ابطال PMSL عربي. MENA region من افضل الريجنات في العالم.
Chúng tôi khá là tự tin ạ, tại vì chúng tôi là đương kim vô địch C nên chúng tôi không sợ. Chúng tôi đã đạt được một top 1 trong một ngày thì chúng tôi đến đây mục tiêu phá kỷ lục chúng tôi sẽ cố gắng sẽ được 6 phút 1 trong một ngày.
I think we will qualify straight to the final.
اذا انت بطل بمثال ممكن تكون محظوظ بجيم جيمين، اما انك تكون محظوظ انك تفوز بطوله هذا الشيء مستحيل.
Bên Milan tại vì họ là một đội mới nên họ sẽ có những tâm lý khá là bất thường.
Büyük ihtimal Wolves derdim.
I think probably Virtus Pro just looked like that.
Нельзя, блядь, сказать, что они удачи, что они нормально сыграли. Там нет неудачных, и те, кто на удачу выиграл. Я посмотрел, типа, фавориты своих регионов выиграли.
Wolves esports. They have coups. Best player in the world in my opinion.
Đội VP tại vì bên khu vực đấy khá là căng thẳng và họ chứng minh bản thân mình từ những ngày đầu tiên.
İyiler, kötü değiller ama heyecanlı oynuyorlar.
Will be ready.
Я считаю, что из всех победителей PMSL мы являемся самой сильной командой.
Virtus Pro çok iyi oynadı. DX zaten bu PUBG Mobile oynadığımdan beri hiç sevmiyorum oyun tarzlarını. Kendilerini seviyorum ama oyun tarzlarını hiç sevmiyorum. Yani bölgeleri güçsüz olduğu için ben MENA bölgesi demek istiyorum. Oradaki takımları biraz daha vurmak kolay diyebilirim. Main fight hariç.
I don't think any PMSL champion teams are stronger than us.
Я думаю, для нашей команды будет легче всего зарабатывать поинты на плюсах с Америкой.
ممكن اقول لرؤوف طور لعبك لانه حبي احنا جايين ندمرك.
Em muốn một lần nhắc đến đội đương kim vô địch BMSL Milan là cách chơi của họ có thể là khá là ổn ở bên khu vực đấy, nhưng ra đây chúng tôi chưa chắc các bạn đã làm được.
Yes, I think we have a lower experience than the other teams, but I think this is benefits us. It's in our advantage because the teams don't know how we're really going to play.
Tekanan tu memang ada. Bila bawa nama Malaysia, saya bukan main untuk diri sendiri je. Saya main untuk komuniti, untuk fans dan orang yang percaya pada kami.
Bom, o ano passado foi muito especial para a gente. Senti que estávamos ali a um passo do título. Mas às vezes, por mais que você se esforce, o resultado não vem. Essa derrota ficou com a gente e nos mudou.
آخر سنة ما راحت بالطريقة اللي ردناها، حاولنا وتعبنا بس بالأخير ما حصلنا النتيجة اللي ردناها.
My first Pmgc taught me a lot about myself, the pressure, the nerve, the mistake you can make only on war stage. Now I'm here with a new roster, but my goal is still the same, to perform the way I know I can, to play with clarity, confidence and discipline.
A gente está aqui para jogar e ser feliz e buscar o topo. Sim, a gente está ainda mais confiante. Eu acredito que a Pmgc vai ser a melhor de todos os tempos da Influence Age.
أنا واثق من نفسي هواي، واثق من تيمي هواي أيضاً، ومتأمل ناخذ توب 1.
Perjalanan Pmgc kita orang pada tahun 2024 boleh dikatakan sangat teruk. Kami langsung tak berjaya untuk lepas ke next stage. Tapi 2025 akan berbeza. Saya tak akan biarkan kesilapan yang sama berlaku dua kali.
It's not my fault, but I always come back.
Don't get it twisted. Our talent was never the problem.
Bom, este ano voltamos com mais fome, mais disciplina e com a mentalidade bem mais clara. Acredito que este é o nosso momento.
Saya tak nak orang lain ingat, tim Malaysia ni datang untuk bercuti je. Tapi saya nak diorang tahu yang kita orang boleh bagi saingan terbaik untuk tim-tim global.
Yeah, that could have been a good topic to talk about.
if they can put up another big performance, keep themselves at the top of the tables. Of course, over the course of 3 days, if you get a 50-point average, you're more than likely going to be safe, Blank. And they have already surpassed, well, they're very close to surpassing that metric, breaking that 100-point barrier. Teams over that 100-point barrier today are going to be having a good time of it.
20 seconds to go. We get into things. Does get a little bit worrying now. Up towards that top side, but there's still teams that are chasing. For Twisted Minds, very much needed win. It felt like it wasn't super convincing though. I think that's my only issue with it. And I think even the coach looked a little bit frustrated with the way that went down. But for Twisted Minds, there is still a chance now. They've put themselves in a position to do it now with those additional points on board. The middle of the pack, though, is getting quite close, I'd like to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit dicey around the middle, and they're dancing with death around that 11th place as well. Because at the moment, it feels like anyone really could be taking up those bottom 5 spots. The plane path a little lilt to the left, and they are going to be trying to break their way east, I'm sure. We'll wait for the circle to see if it's going to be messy. The Burmese Ghouls out very, very early. So are Virtus Pro, actually, over the military island. But a big split for the Burmese Ghouls. They're chilling. See if True Rippers are going to give them any trouble this time.
I think for Burmese Ghouls, it's been a little bit slow on the rotate outside of Sosnovka at the moment. On a real one, talking about Burmese Ghouls now. I've taken off my Necromancer hat for the time being. But yeah, I think for Burmese Ghouls, they definitely do need to get a little bit of a move on over towards the northern side, slightly quicker on those circles. We'll see, though. It could be another Sosnovka circle right now, and everything I'm saying is completely wrong. Be a very western plane path again. I think teams are having to deal with this multiple times today, but they should be used to it by now. But we get a northern circle split between the river, which is always a little bit awkward at times, but very playable.
Is Walsh going to get the same spray? No, okay. I thought he was going to get the same spray down onto Arc Red there. Back double spray on the start of the game, but he's looking at he so wants it again as well. Look at him. He's looking at those clouds. There's no one left up there. They were a little bit nippier on the way down. So he's denied that opportunity. All unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get some more points on board. Let's take a look at the points rankings at the time being. You can see there, 11th place, Twisted Minds, 40 points. So although coming off the back of a win, it really hasn't pushed them that far up the lobby there at all. So Twisted Minds need to go further now again, which is rough, John. It's definitely rough. Not too fun for our squads here towards the bottom of the tables. And again, I'd like to reiterate that this is quite a slow lobby in terms of the amount of action that happens. So a lot of these games are sort of determined by where the circle is going over towards. That and a couple of slick rotations. So you really do have to try very hard to get those big games. Otherwise, you're sort of relying on like 8 to 9 point placement games, in which case everyone else is trying to profit above you. So it's slow going, working up these rankings. You're really in the mud at the moment, wading through it to try and get towards the top 3. And I think that's sort of what made the gauntlet so fun for a lot of squads, where it really was possible at any moment to get in towards that top 7. It didn't feel like it was game over, even in map 4 or 5 on that final day. Here, things are starting to get decided already.
Yeah, will start to stretch out away from you. I mean, we saw the bubble play around 90 points towards that 11th place during Group Green. And so teams looking to try and get ahead and over that. Right now, we're a little bit lower than that average. It would be an 80-point bubble if you doubled the score, which you have half of our matches still to play. But that is not necessarily the best way to go about things. We'll have to see where we're going to end up this time around. It could be completely different. There are a lot of dynamics at play that affect where these bubbles land. But for now, we'll have to wait. Weibo, they were locked in a fight quite early on. And yeah, that's going to be a very quick flush coming through from E-Arena. Weibo not managing to get really anything on their drop for the first 4 minutes and 20 seconds of this game is a really rough time. And I don't think any amount of good rotates can patch up the lack of looting time that they may have on board for this one. Fortunate that the circle stays near Severny.
Yeah, I think something I'd be really interested to look into is the amount of eliminations compared between Group Green and Group Red so far, specifically on Rondo. So I think both our Rondos for Group Red have been pretty quiet outside of a couple of initial skirmishes. It's mostly that end game where things start to get a little bit more hectic, but even so, like, most of the mid game is very slow. No one's really taking those fights. The amount of recalls we had weren't too frequent either, because honestly most teams remained as 4 players in the first place. Boars are going to look to try and hold out the Burmese Ghouls as they leave from Sosnovka.
There's a replay on order going down. I can report to you, Blank, that over the 3 matches that we had on Rondo in Group Green, there were 245 eliminations. I don't have the stats to hand of what we've seen so far. Of course, that's over 3 Rondos. So if you divide that by 3, then, of course, you get about 81 and 2/3. Obviously, a lot more than players in the lobby because of those recall beacons. I don't have the stats to hand on this group currently, but in general, that's the sort of metric that you're looking at. Just a bit over 80 is probably around where you expect those elimination counts to be for a Rondo.
I need someone to add those tallies up in the background, please. Thank you. Burmese Ghouls do make that exit, but it's not amazing. As Unknown will get shut down. Cause does get picked up, though. They did send out the sacrifice from the Burmese Ghouls. Try and figure out what was going on the other side. I think it's point in time, though. Like, again, this is a bit of a strange one for me. You're even still going for it. It's a bit of a strange one for me because I do think that it's not a horrible time to go for an Eastern Bridge rotate. And I don't think that True Rippers are a team looking for that bridge camp here.
No, not yet. On that western side, it's a little bit too fraught for liking. Yeah, Burmese Ghouls, they got to divert. They're not going to try and push through the Boars. And the Boars are spending so much time down here, they're kind of scuppering their own game a little bit. And losing a player as well. Well, not losing, but taking a knock to it is far from ideal. Even if they are going to get a point, it's going to slow them down very, very heavily. Moving into the rest of this one, you can see Influence Rage. They're just about to meet the south side of the center of these teams. And they're going to have a tough time finding a home, but DRX still moving means that there's some flexibility in where Influence Rage can end up.
Yeah, exactly. Influence Rage. I cut between DRX. I'll make this rotate through. DRX has a lot of angles. Even got to play up towards Everest right now, scouting. It's a bit of a sluggish start for a lot of squads here. But we're waiting on stage 2 to really define where these teams have to leave to. And I think most teams, it's fair enough that they are keeping this one under wraps, right? You know, playing it a little slower, just because the next zone could easily head far over towards that north side or far down towards the south, in which case some drastic rotates have to come through from a few of our squads. So you don't want to get bogged down right now just before the circle shifts. And it is over towards the north side. Probably less ideal for most teams. Most squads don't really want to go sit up towards the north side of the map at the beginning of the game, just because there's so many more critical locations on the south side. But because it does move north, it means there's a lot of squads that need to readjust.
Yeah, it's going to force teams to go over those rivers, those bridge crossings. Very, very hot spot action potential. And a lot of wide flanks, I think, in the very near future. For True Rippers, it may be better to stay back for a little bit, I think, unless you can really blast through right now. Playing edge on this one might be a little bit better. a really unfavorable position around the south side of Rosok. I think it's safe to say, because there's already teams to your north, and you don't have the flexibility to go out wide that other teams do.
Just seeing what E-Arena does here, just because they're on the western side, but they are the closest on the west side. So what position do they want to play? Do they want to kind of wrap down towards the bank, just the north of Rosok, play that spot, or do they want to continue holding around box compound, cut out teams that might want to be trying to get through from North George, like Dekhte as well as DRX? It's True Rippers, though, managed to squeeze their way through, John, surprisingly, towards the south side of Rosok.
Absolutely. I do have an update on the stats that you requested earlier. It's a 70. It's 69.5 average elims per rondo for this group, which is a distinct drop-off. 10 fewer elims per match.
Yeah, so it's sort of what I thought then. So,
yeah, well done.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't have the stats to back it up, but now I do. But yeah, it definitely does. It massively feels like this lobby really does not fight as much as Group Green did. I think Group Green really, a lot of times, a lot of teams were fighting for position, which is what made it so exciting towards that top side, because there was that aggression to grab strong spots in the circle, which is why we had some teams pulling so far ahead of one another. True Rippers taking shots towards Twisted Minds, I believe.
Waiting for those to pop up, and yeah, Twisted Minds getting a player conked out for now. Hopefully they can pick that one back up. I mean, they're close enough, but it's going to be tricky. Ooh, Regnum Kaya taking a knock. To be fair, Rosok's getting very, very full. And these are shots across the way, so unlikely to be fully flushed here. But against Regnum Kaya, any blow's a blow. And you'll be all too willing to strike. I mean, the team flash position right now, right, on the northern side of this river, pretty powerful. It is going to be ending up north here, so Weibo, they are on 3, but they do have a solid spot. I'm looking at DRX, I'm looking at Virtus Pro pushing in too.
Yeah, I think for DRX, quite like their position, but like you say, Virtus Pro, strong on that north side, can hold that out for quite a while as well. But again, it's just that thing where you look towards Rosok, so many teams didn't take shots at one another. Arcred didn't take shots towards it. True Rippers, as they made their way in. Regnum Kaya can't really peek because of the sightlines from the flash on the north side. It's so weird. It's very, very weird. And again, this is going to be so difficult to leave now. And we saw having the situation from yesterday on Miramar between the Burmese Schools as well as E-Arena, where both teams do struggle to evacuate. Arcred make a quick rotate across. They lose one player for it. Hardboy is that outpost for them, though, at the Wizard Tower. The question is whether the rest of the team can even regroup with him.
That is a big question. Getting that regroup, I mean, it's so important when teams are so packed in like this. Having the players together, you do not want to sever in that scenario. So we'll see if they can navigate that one. That is a bit of a isn't it? And fortunately, there are other teams around to pick up the pieces here, but Regnum Kaya, uncharacteristically, not hitting those shots, but they still do get both of the points. Or just one of them for now.
The shots were technically good because the vehicle exploded. It's very surprising that none of the shots were on target towards the players. So I think it's just a little bit unlucky there for Regnum Kaya, but they get the job done in terms of exploding the vehicle outside of the Wizard Tower in the first place. So now the cross is a little bit more difficult. So they're able to clear a little bit of position there. Boars moving up over towards Nuclear Zone. Havlik jumps out of the hovercraft, providing a lot of space here. Nuclear Zone is just sort of letting it happen.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, they're just getting a little bit rinsed there. On the high ground, 2 players now stand. Boars moving in with the hovercraft. An ominous presence. Big threat being dealt. The Hawks in and out through the monster truck, through the windows. And Arthur's giving them the runaround. A little bit too hard of a sword to pull out of that stone. And he's not going to be able to extract the point there for Boars. Exo wants vengeance, but taking down Havlik, I mean, this is really nasty for the Boars. They had a massive advantage in this fight, losing a player on a single player roll up is not good news. Now SnowX with the pressure will be able to enter through the back, and it will be able to find that revenge, but they lose a player, and that's nasty.
Yeah, it's over aggressive, right? I think it's the best way to describe that. Is it's over aggressive. It was unnecessary as well from Havlik. It looks cool if he's able to make it happen, but you risk going down because he was completely isolated from the rest of the team's sidelines, so they couldn't even provide him any help there. Circle moves up again, so the Flash still in a strong spot on this circle. It's quite a big flat zone towards the center of this one, a little bit of higher ground off towards the western side, but I think most teams sort of want to get towards the center of this one and start posting up around the tree line, which is what Influence Rage are doing.
Yeah, something you need to be a little bit more mindful of. DRX taking shots at Influence Rage, though, and even if they're able to get into this position, you can see it's far from safe. The smokes are starting to bloom. They need to start to hunker down. Everybody's looking their way for now. Weather out the next 30 seconds. For Influence Rage, they might just have a stronghold atop this hill.
And they're expending smokes, though, to do it, which is the worrying thing for the team, is that you don't have infinite supplies of smoke, though. So you need to survive through to stage 5 and wait for other teams to get forced in. Twisted Minds, they will lose Lord there.
Oh,
but big shots indeed with their PP Bison.
Oh,
finally down. Oh my god.
That was window peek out as in the air. Beautiful stuff, but pretty does not points make, unfortunately. This time around, will be denied. Another 1-pointer there for Nuclear Zone. Not a great run for them. True Rippers, they've made their way up towards the north. They are playing as 3 and they're running straight at Regnum Karya. Turns around, Jelly not going to go in fully for that fight. And will get away for now, scot-free, if that remains. And yeah, that's not going to work out for you. The run up on towards Influence Rage. Seemingly a very bad idea.
ETSH is currently taking a fight with the whole lobby at the moment. For their own chance of this game, they almost scattered Virtus Pros as well. I'd be pretty fuming about that.
Yeah, it's Virtus Pro having to play on as 3. It's already not the greatest. I mean, they'll take the 2 points, but they'll definitely want more to keep their momentum going into today. Obviously, a massive dearth of points seen from them yesterday. They have just come off a big game, so wanting to do a little bit more here to convert into good times. Stay up in that 11th place, or at least, well, preferably higher, but 11th at the end of their first day seemed a little bit out of reach, so yeah, it's good that they are now in and amongst it. Circle down towards the south. But it doesn't keep Regnum Karya in. It's Virtus Pro on the north. It's Team Flash as well, who regroup.
I mean, Team Flash, I actually quite like their spot on this south side. There's a lot of control they have. For Regnum Karya, I'm not expecting a massive game out of them this time around. This is a tough push over towards the north side. It's not easy to do. I think as the northbound team inside of Rozhok, their hope was to get points and eliminations from teams they're exiting. I think they have to sweep east, but there's so many teams still out there. It's crazy.
Not starting to come in thick and fast. Teams on the south having to move with the pressure. Yunbin is down for DRX, but Soaz holds the tree line. Burmese Ghouls having a tough time against it. Not really able to find the confirms as Spraydown's actually coming from Alliance across the way. A third party on this engagement. The nade behind, and that will pick up the flush. Alliance on the hillside being pushed back a little bit. I don't think that's by the Burmese Ghouls. I think Alliance decide we don't want to overinvest because we've got Regnum Karya bearing down upon us, and they are sweeping east flank. They are moving through, and for now, they haven't taken a knock. They find another of the Alliance players, and it feels like we're always going to see this fight. Regnum Karya versus Alliance, and more often than not, it's going the same way.
Yeah, they seem to hate this team. And if I was Alliance, I would also hate Regnum Kaya for doing this to them. Silas moves into the building. Good shots to start off with. You can just delay time now. But it does not even necessary. Silas is up to 4 elims once again, proving the haters wrong. Get the quick heal off. But yeah, good sweep. Good sweep. Yeah, you're right. Broke Sentry on this game. Already 7 points. And what did we say? They needed 8 to 9 points now on their games. And they're basically set if they're able to do that over the next 6 matches.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at getting, if you get 50-point days, that's 150 points towards the end of it. That would have been into the top 3 back in Group Green. It's more than likely enough to see you into the top 3 here in Group Red. It's got to feel good for Regnum Kaya, especially coming off of yesterday, coming off of the Gauntlet stage, to finally be atop the pile once more. It's kind of what we expect from them, to be honest, at this stage. So it's good to see them back in the limelight. Nades over the top for Influence Rage, keeping the day going worse and worse for Weibo as time goes on, though.
Some absolute hero nades coming here through from Influence Rage right now, directly on top of Sook.
Okay, there you go. I thought you meant nading your own team, but you were still flaming him. Excellent. I love it. Oh, dear. That's a lot of smoke. I can't see what's going on, Blank. Nothing. There may or may not be happening anything inside this building, but it is going to be the shutdown. It looks like, yeah, that's Pro having a really bad time around that one. Not ideal. Not ideal. Weibo eliminated as well as Influence Rage pilfer through the boxes.
It's kind of nice there, honestly. Arcred, Hardboy, once again in another game where he is the final one alive on Erangel. See if Influence Rage don't get Weibo box fever, where you just pick through all the loot the entire time and forget you actually have to play the game. Yeah, I think for Regnum Kaya, making this switch out towards the east was pretty damn good. And they didn't really take any damage at all from the Alliance, so they can continue on. I don't think they had to use too much utility. This is the difficult push, though, right? Over towards the Flash. I don't know how they make this push work. So many vehicles on low HP as well.
Do you go for the Flash, or do you sweep around and try and go for DRX? I mean, it's a difficult choice here for Regnum Kaya. It might just be send over the top and hope for the best. They've already got a good game. They're already over 100 points. You know, they may be able to afford to make some quirky plays here and then. But we'll have to wait a little bit longer. It seems like they just want to hold on the hilltop for now. And to be fair, they don't have to move just yet.
No one really wants to move around this location either. I mean, to the north of, or to the northwest at least of the Flash, it is just a flat plateau. It's really disgusting. Not even that weapon. Knox there versus Dekhte, who are now up to 4 eliminations, but only 2 players, and Influence Rage, they're on the way. Off towards that west side. Diego does go down, though. That's the hard boy.
Yeah, big off-angle player. The man just likes to survive into these later game circles. Influence Rage losing 1 on the north side is actually kind of big news for the teams towards the south, because before this, they were this threat that could extend over this hillside when things start to quiet down, but now they're a little bit less fearsome. But maybe for DRX, that is going to be a big opportunity. In the meantime, Arcred do get eliminated, and here comes the crash from E-Arena over towards True Rippers. It's up to Jelly now, the last player to stand. Doesn't have a lot of HP to play around with, and will get taken down. E-Arena crash in successfully.
It's a cruel backstab there from Regnum Kaya as well. Over towards True Rippers. They're just going to send it. They need this initial knock, and they don't find it. I think Regnum Kaya's chances here are very slim now as they lose 3. I'm not entirely certain that this was the right play. It also really didn't throw any smokes either. But again, 8 tall elims. Not a bad game.
No, and they still have Silas. He lost out quite a while, and he's still in the zone. He can chill for a bit. He might be able to outlast a couple teams and start racking up placement points to add on to their tally. The more, the merrier. As far as he's concerned, the nades are starting to really punish Influence Rage now as DRX are moving in across this hillside, extending their influence. This looks like it might just be a DRX chicken dinner here if they can keep this hillside under control. because Influence Rage, they've just been removed from it, and everybody else is kind of trapped down south in the compound by Team Flash.
Yeah, I can't. It's still weird. I feel like Regnum Kai could have swept right. I don't think they had to push the Flash, especially pushing one of the hardest buildings to assault in the entire game and doing it dry with no smokes. It was certainly a choice.
A decision was made. And Influence Rage's decisions have been taken away from them as well. DRX, Geekay teaming up to take him down. And up to 7 elims, DRX. They started the day, I think, very close to where Regnum Kaya were. But they've had very different matches so far. They want to try and change that, however. Up to 7 elims. Put a big game on the cards. Flex out to this west side. If Geekay give you trouble, take him down as fast as you like. Struggle to keep up with the Flash, but still, it's good to add those points to the tally. It's a really reluctant stage right now of players not wanting to move in towards the middle of this circle, Blank. A lot of open ground there, and they fear it.
It's horrible. We're actually moving to the most disgusting area of the map. Again, it's just straight plateau. Nice name from Tops on the high ground. Another air burst towards the back. Quick steal from Silas, though. That's the 9 points found.
Wow. All right. Cheeky. He's nading them. That nade over from the right-hand side, that came from Silas. He's getting naughty. I mean, you took shots so they know he's there now. He's going to help him out somewhat. Take a player, give it a little back. Silas, I mean, a nade is going to go out his way. Okay. We're able to remove him, but 106 points now, and they've still got 2 Miramars to play. Blank. This is great for Regnum Kaya. In terms of their bid for the top spots, Arena just about sneaking their way over the top here, first to step foot on the plateau.
I mean, for Regnum Kaya, they really hope that E-Arena wins this fight. The further E-Arena gets towards the top side, the easier it is to lock in those 2 top spots. Because Flash is chasing at the moment.
Absolutely. And they are on for a bit of a run here, though. Look at the open ground. I mean, you said it, right? Disgusting open ground. Only the trees, really, to play around. And Team Flash have to move. They have to move north. DRX are in this next circle, just on their dip. I don't think Team Flash make it. I don't think that they're going to be able to get out to the open here. They've got 6 smokes, 5 nades, so maybe they could do something with that, but they've already just spent, I think, at least 3 of them over there.
Yeah, it's tough as well because you move north on this. The Flash can't really play the low ground which sits on the south side. There's a little ridge to play around there, but because it's pushing you north, like DRX with that little lip there, they have so much control of the circle. This absolutely should be a DRX game.
Ooh, there's a spray down. That is unfortunate. There's an opener. It should have been their game, but now the little rollout and actually even more damage pouring on in. DRX need to hold strong. Only the 1 knock sent their way so far, and they do hold off the forward push coming through from Team Flash successfully, leaving them at a 4v2v2. They do want the res, but might not have the time. Okay, they do. As the nades don't really exist now in the back pockets for anybody to send their way. Team Flash too far away for the moment.
We saw Kaixi Sonnerza just jump above that. Kevin's going to go nice and low here. Playing limbo on the circle. It's the one spot they don't have vision on, so you'd hope they'd check it soon.
It's down, so it is just Kevin now standing. Might be waiting, crawling back, stepping up. So the nade thinks now as good as any time, but will be shut down. Nice and vigilant there. And now DRX could fully establish along this line. And Team Flash out as 2. All that needs to happen is these trades. For DRX to be able to take this one home, it would be a monumental chicken dinner here for them. The nade over towards the cover. I mean, there's only so many places to choose from. And when there's a vehicle out in the open, well, you kind of assume that there's a player behind it, and they're nading out the position nicely. Still doing a lot of damage. And Tops can't do anything about it either. He's being backed off by Kaixi.
I think it's slightly early to throw those nades, personally. This is also pretty crazy from DRX.
Wow. What a shutdown. The stylish rollout there. That was pretty crazy, you're right. I mean, if both of them had turned their attention to that vehicle quicker, they might have been able to take both of those players down. But DRX, a slow choke out on that zone. It wasn't super flashy until right in those final moments, but they made it work. And Blank, they got 13 eliminations there. A 23-point game is a massive bolster to their points tally.
Yeah, it's way better for DRX overall. I was very pleased with the way that one went down. I think for DRX in particular, there's been a fair few matches in the past where it's been a slow win for them. That was much more controlled, much better played. I think the only moment where I was a little bit concerned with their gameplay was when they didn't clear out Kevin. Again, you just kind of play the logical game of what haven't we checked, and then let's look there instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever vigilant, nicely held, very disciplined play from DRX. They made it work. As well as that, Regnum Kaya breaking the century, almost breaking the 110 with 2 more Miramars left to play. Seems like they may be uncatchable, but our teams will give it a good go. We'll see what they've got in our Miramars up next.
And just like that, DRX lock in their second chicken dinner here for Group Red. And right after, Maxman said, I need to see something from this squad. Coincidence? I think not.
I've been praying for days like these, Hot Jukes. It's coming to reality. Again, I'm going overhype a little bit. A really solid game coming out from DRX. They were very much in control of this ridge line, making sure that teams like Flash could just not even get remotely close to their position. And Iptura, finally, not a solo crappy drive-by. They put 2 players in the car. Yes!
Wow! We're having, it's an involvement. We're doing well. There we go. We're getting a better team game by game. I really like how they played that overall. And you're seeing those eliminations as well as the win, right? I think, in my opinion, this has got to be the most significant one we've seen in terms of both, yeah, they get that placement, right? But they're also really working for it. They're getting those eliminations at the same time. So I really like to see that coming through for them.
Everyone put up so much damage, 600 plus, some almost at 700 damage for like So Easy in particular. That's a crazy damage ratio across the board for the entirety of DRX. I'm very happy they were all involved in these fights straight up. So very happy with DRX here putting South Korea back on the map for Group Red. And yeah, I said it right, Hodgix. I wanted to see some presence from this team, and they had such a good control on that northern ridge position. And initially, they were playing in a gas station, which in this area is such a good spot to hold on to. And they had so much good information on the likes of Influence Rage, Weibo, Alliance, Regnum Kara, that they knew what the best optimal move was to make, and they pulled it off beautifully.
Executed it to perfection, right, Iptura? I mean, DRX they had 50 points prior to this match. Flash had 78, so they needed 28 points to catch up to third. This chicken dinner is definitely going to close that gap quite a bit.
It really, really is, and what a game to actually do it, right? Because we've got 2 more games after this, so now they're able to use that and just use that as momentum, just go forward onto the next game where they've got a little bit more space. Maybe they can do, you know, some of those splits that they like a little bit more on the Miramar with, you know, more space to do that in. And so, yeah, I think it'll be a really nice thing for them. This is the halfway point of the day, halfway point of Group Red. This is exactly when they needed to do it, Jukes.
Absolutely. So, well, actually, now that I think about it, Max, this was a pretty top-heavy game, right?
Yeah.
This one had a lot of teams at the top that ended up towards the end of the game. So DRX getting this win is huge, but you know, it's going to be even tougher for these teams to try to catch up to these top 3 squads when you have so many top teams just constantly getting points here.
If we didn't have a point gap created at the top now, well, then we definitely have it now. After a game like this, it's going to let them separate themselves from the middle pack of this lobby as you go through some of the replays. And man, hovercraft, so very important for a very flat finish like this in particular. But so many fights that happen in so many odd ways, like influence rage, just chasing down players, DRX able to then use the gas station I was talking about earlier. But this fight annoyed me, Niptura, because we've seen so many nades being chucked in this one building, one Molotov. One Molotov, the building is dead, and it just never came out. It's very weird.
Yeah, you've really got to use Molotovs for that, and the way, how long it actually took them to finish up that fight made sure that there was a lot of third parties going on down. But that other fight that was really weird was Weibo, right? It's like we just weren't able to see the Weibo we saw yesterday. They just went into one position and kind of stayed there.
I love Silas trying to third parties like, sit down! Yeah, it's an hour fight. You don't get involved on this one, but no, they do clear the remnants of Geeky. Kevin in particular, I know Blank was a little bit, scared they wouldn't be able to clear it in time, but they do find it in the end and do wrap it up in style. But you actually talk about Weibo. They had the compound that DRX took at some point in this game, and they didn't even fight for it. I was so confused in Iptura that they didn't try and compete for it. So Weibo playing more passive than I really expected.
Yeah, they really did, didn't they? No, but I do want to say as we look over on these rotations that both Geeky and DRX really impressed me in this game. We're going to see in phase 2, I think DRX is going to have a huge northern shift over here. Yeah, there you go. That rotation going all the way around amongst Geeky, actually. But Geeky go way up to Severny, and DRX decide to go a little bit further south. But you can see that there. They go straight for that center. They hold that compound for a good long while. And they just keep on going, and with so many fights going on that edge, on all edges of the zone, right? Those positions for both of those teams were actually really good because it gave them that springboard, that foundation to really just go after all the teams and fight their way through. So I really like how all of these teams did, what all teams did rather, on those edge plays.
We did see on this graphic during the mid-game section that actually Flash had that 2-2 split, and they saw that Regnum Kara got a little bit too close, so they're just, okay, we can work with Regnum Kara, we can coexist in the same area, so they just regroup fully in the compound. So that was a very good, respectful play from Flash, and that alone is going to allow them here, Hotchicks, to get 12 big points on board. So top 3 should still be looking pretty comfortable for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, when you create such a big lead at the start, it gives you a little bit more room, right? Even though you got a team like DRX, who was like dead center in that mid-pack 23-point game, when you get 12 points yourself, I mean, that just makes it more like an 11-point game, right? So it's beautiful to see that these top squads are being so consistent. It's going to make it so much harder for the rest of the lobby here. We're going into Miramar up next, Maxman, right? That's going to be interesting for sure, especially seeing, you know, Virtus Pro not have that same success that they had at the start of the day. But we got to talk about our MVP, of course, DRX QXZ. 6 eliminations. Great game from him.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, all the players of DRX have that potential to be an MVP contender, and QXZ in this game in particular, 6 eliminations, he was shredding it this match. Very happy with QXZ, and yeah, DRX, again, I want to see them top 3, Hot Tricks. You know what? I'm biased. I don't care. I'm fully, when it comes to DRX, I am hella biased. And you know what? They're not quite there. They're jumping up, but top 3, Regnum, E-Arena, Flash, they're not budging a bit here, Niptura. They're still in top 3, and they're going to be the teams to take down eventually.
Yeah, and you were talking about that point gap coming on through a little bit more, right? Flash with 90, Influence with 81. We're starting to see that gap continue to get bigger. You know, the gap is gapping right now, and DRX, they're doing their best to get up there, but the other teams, man, aren't crazy. Weibo going down to 8th place. I mean, if you had told me that Weibo were going to do basically nothing today at the start of today, I wouldn't have believed. It's a big drop coming down from Weibo, but I do want to just point out for these teams, right? The Miramars were won yesterday by Flash and by Arcred. Now, Flash, they're fine. They're doing well, but Arcred, if they want to step up, the Miramar is where they need to do it.
I mean, I'm looking at Team Flash, really. I'm really happy to bring them up because they were the kings, undisputed kings of Miramar. The Dusty Tunes were theirs. They had a chicken dinner with 12 eliminations on the first game, and then the second one with that Cruz del Valle finish, they got a 4th place with 4 eliminations. So maybe not a big game, but still enough to get their Miramar average extremely high compared to the majority of this lobby. So, man, if Team Flash can replicate this, Hodrix now, after already having a pretty decent day, 1st place, definitely possible for them to execute.
It really is, and it's such a funny storyline if you really think about it, right? Because at the start of the day, we did the comparison between Flash and Regnum Karya, right? The new team, the first squad, you know, their first PMGC, stepping on the stage and outperforming the veterans, right, of Regnum Karya. And then now we get into day 2. Regnum Karya Dats is like, see ya, you know, let me show you guys how it's done, okay? But it's a great, you know, a great storyline to talk about because it just shows that, hey, you know what? Experience is going to pay off in the long run for sure, right? But Flash are holding on. I mean, they were right there towards the end. They're putting up some consistent points. If they get a good circle, absolutely they can make a run for the top. The thing is, though, with the way Regnum Karya, Silas, the whole squad has been playing today, that's going to be a tough order to fill for sure, Max.
Experience speaks volume in these kind of lobbies, and you know what? It's definitely been working greatly in favor of Regnum Karya. 106 points. First team to break that 3-digit point system here in the leaderboards. And now, who's going to join them next? Are we going to have E-Arena? Are we going to have Flash? Will SEA step up here? Or will Influence Rage? No, that still... I do have to say, I was looking at the stats, Niptra. Maybe Influence Rage aren't showing a lot of presence in these late game scenarios, but they still got decent points. I think the last game, they were almost getting close to 10 points. So they're still getting enough to stay close to top 3, top 4. But the moment they get that big win, I'm thinking that jump into top 3 is bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all you need to do, right? If you're not feeling the win, if that's not really something you're able to do in these games, just make sure you get consistent enough points that when you do get that big game, you're right into that second or first place even, right? If you can keep that point gap small enough, then yeah, you can absolutely boost yourself into that top 3 without fighting tooth and nail game to game to game and exhausting yourself. So it's all about pacing when it comes to an event like this.
Yeah, so far, Influence Rage on the day, averaging 6 points a game. Okay, so I mean, that's not bad at all, right, guys? It's just they just haven't had that crazy match yet. We're going to Miramar. That could definitely happen. I'm gonna start asking you guys some serious questions though here. Okay, are you guys ready?
Ooh,
here we go.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing this long enough now, where I think you can get a good, an idea of where things are gonna end up with how this lobby's been being played. Okay, so I want to see right now, from what do you guys think the cutoff is when it comes to the leaderboards for teams that still have a chance to make it to 3rd place? All right, Max, I'm gonna go with you first.
Cutoff, like point wise? I mean,
yep. Like which place right now do you think still has a chance of even making it to the top 3?
I thought you wanted me to calculate the point cutoff. I was like,
oh no,
why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Don't ask me about numbers.
We'll leave that to John.
Currently, yeah, in conversation for top 3, I would have to say currently, I would say Burmese Ghouls 9th and above. Currently are the ones that I'm going to be saying are in a position where they can easily jump up in top 3.
Natura?
I kind of agree. The only thing I'm thinking is that in terms of the team performance, I think it's really 8th and above, unless you're really going to do something crazy out the gate. But from all of the other teams below 8th place, we just haven't really seen that performance that I'm looking for to be confident in saying, yeah, they can definitely do it.
Actually, I'm changing my answer. I agree with Niptra.
I was about to say, I think she got that one.
Weibo's correct. 8th position. She's correct. I was wrong.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right call because these top teams right now, I could just tell they've got this lobby downloaded. Like they're gonna put up points almost no matter what, unless they make like an obscene mistake. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that kind, I mean, we just saw the last game, right? I mean, it was pretty much all the top squads in the end game. So if that continues to happen here, yeah, it's gonna be really difficult. I think 8th place is that number for sure. I think Weibo still have a possibility, but I'm gonna even go as far to say that it's kind of dependent on these next 2 matches. Honestly, I think if Weibo don't get it together in Miramar here, I think their chance for top 3 just might be over. Is that crazy to say?
No, I would agree, but I don't like saying this about any team. And tell me if you agree or not, Niptra, on this. But the only way I could describe Weibo's playstyle and mentality in that previous game was scared. They did not even want to clash with DRX. They're like, you take the take the compound and everything in it. We don't want to clash. And then they go on this ridge next to Influence Rage and they get naded to hell. That's not a playstyle for me that shows you can be top 3. So I need to change your pace like ASAP.
Yeah, that mentality needs to be done away with immediately if they want to do anything in these next 2 games. And really, they only have these next 2 games to do something before it's really getting down to the wire. So 100%, Max, I agree with you. They're looking scared for some reason. And they don't need that from yesterday. I mean, what is this? It's not the same team.
We need Sook with the explosive bow, and they'll come back, then Hot Jukes. Yes.
Woo!
Let's see it. They've taken the control of the lobby before, but they better do it here for this next 2 matches. Let's take it on over to Blake and John for some Miramar action.
We've got some more PUBG Mobile to play. From Campo Militar down to Bartona, we're into Miramar now, with the plane already in the skies. Our players locked and loaded. The cutoff is looming ever closer, and it does not slow down no matter who you are. But some of our teams not slowing down either, most notably, obviously, Regnum Kaya on a bit of a resurgence today, surging into the lead and breaking that century. The question is, who's going to join them?
Wait and see. It's getting close, though, towards the top side of the lobby, to be honest with you, on that century mark. And we had the Flash as well as DRX chasing on the last game, as well as E-Arena, in fact, getting quite late into that match. I think E-Arena's been playing way, way better than they did in Gauntlet. But again, Gauntlet was a very different beast. It was much more aggressive, and I think E-Arena was getting caught out by that. Though I will say that this is the benefit of playing in the Gauntlet stage, or the benefit of doing very well in your own region, is you get, like, even if you don't make it into the top 7 in the Gauntlet, you get a massive amount of practice versus teams that you're likely to see towards the grand finals anyway, as well as just the top teams from around the world. So I think for E-Arena, that was very beneficial for them, and they were able to have a big mental reset coming into Group Red.
Hopefully they can keep that mental reset channeled in for the rest of today. The circle pops out towards northwest, but not super dramatic. Does keep the crater fields in Montenuevo or Pozzo, that sort of area. So potential for teams to break out that way. So far on the cards for now, and we're not going to see any crazy teams sitting in San Martin for 20 minutes. That's seemingly just not happening now.
Which is great. We don't like that. We don't want to see that. We want the hot drops to be kept to a minimum, especially on such a large map like this as well, John. There's no real reason to be going for those hot drops in the first place. Alliance right now suffering, mainly because of one team in particular. Regnum Kaya seems to have a bit of a death wish for this squad. We are heading over towards the west. No real teams there at the start of the game here, John, with the plane path on the east.
Yeah, it's been well, teams are going to need to break out quickly. Weibo actually rotating out. They should hit Montenuevo fairly soon. And generally, probably going to do all right from that area. You hope, right? Because they had a little bit of a disaster over the course of the day. And I feel like that's ruffled a few feathers, right? It's a little bit disconcerting when you make a mistake like that. And then you have to go for the mental reset because these guys are going to be dropping back in with you either way. Sort of no matter what, right? So can't really let that get to you, but that is far easier said than done. Weibo, that reset needs to come through because they have been slipping down these tables. And it's not out of the question that at 68 points, if you continue to have a bad day, it's going to just keep on getting away from you, and you might end up down towards the positions below 11th, which is exactly where nobody in this minds getting pushed out by Virtus Pro, who have managed to find themselves up into 11th.
Yeah, it's rough. It's definitely rough. And I think that as we are coming to the close of day 2, we do need to start talking about the bottom 5 a little bit more. Teams that will be going outside is Nuclear Zone, ETSH, True Rippers, Boars, as well as Twisted Minds. Let's get 40 points. You're right, Virtus Pro are up in 11th. But again, even if Virtus Pro do go towards last chance, oh my god, what a run from them that will be. It'd be so exhausting, John. So exhausting. But at this rate, I think that's realistically their only option right now, personally, is to get in towards last chance and qualify through there. I just think that by that point, Virtus Pros could be so burnt out.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, and then you add on like a travel day on top of that, and getting situated in a new place for the finals if you're going to get there, even if you make it through last chance, which is on top of that burnout. Yes, that's a real rough time. That's a really, really rough time. I do not envy them, but that's what you got to do if you want to be the best. You've got to be up to it. You've got to be able to keep pace in these dire circumstances where you've had a really miserable day. It's about picking yourself back up again. So, and ride strong towards the last chance, towards those finals, potentially at the end of it all, the light at the end of the tunnel. All remains to be seen. Dekhte, they did not have a great time back in the gauntlet stages. They really dropped the ball, but they're up in 7th right now and may be on for another last chance approach.
Yeah, I mean, 7th place isn't bad, 73 points. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that with our 3-way tie between DRX, Arcred, and Dekhte, I still think there's chance in these last couple games to place them in a position to challenge out for top 3. I think top 3 is not really all that secure just yet for any of those squads. I mean, being almost 40 points ahead of 4th place there for Regnum Kaya, barring like big mistakes at the end of the day here, I think Regnum Kaya's position might be secure. But again, there is still that chance that these next 2 games, Regnum Kaya get 1 or 2 points, or maybe even 0 of those 2 matches, in which case there is a lot of teams that can catch up all the way down to 8th place with Weibo. But yeah, I think that this is really the make or break moment for a lot of our squads.
Certainly would seem so. Regnum Kaya have spotted Team Flash, and I mean, if there's a team that they want to take down, is it Team Flash? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if want has anything to do with it, really. All they want is points, and they see one of them drifting across the open sand dunes in a buggy, but Boars have spotted them too. It's actually Loxy's like, who's that stealing my elim? Who's stealing my points over there? Oh, he's having a rotter. Goodness me. Well, yeah, the Boars are going to get that flush. So that point is added to their tally. And they continue to joust around at the bottom of the tables. I was just looking at some of the numbers, and after day 2 in Group Green, 18 points was Team Secret's scoreline in last place. So Nuclear Zone currently looking to try and get 3 more points to at least draw level.
Yeah, otherwise Nuclear Zone becomes the new Team Secret joke.
Yeah, that's
should
right.
be pretty sad. But yeah, I think honestly Regnum Kaya is not too bothered about Team Flash doing well. Like, Regnum Kaya is okay with E-Arena doing well and the Flash doing well. That's fine, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they just don't want too many other teams chasing. I mean, if 3 teams can start to strike out ahead of everyone else, then you're sort of safe in terms of that solidarity, right? That you are far away from any other teams and you have that buffer underneath you, especially being the first place team by a pretty sizable margin. As long as you can keep that up, the teams that are chasing you, as long as they're in 2nd and 3rd, you're okay with it. Again, for Regnum Kaya,
Yeah, and more ideally than that, right? Influence Rage, they were 25 points behind them in 4th place. It's a little bit close for comfort, but the circle doesn't seem to think so. It's going to send on over their way. Twisted Minds as well, with a hill out to the east side of El Pozzo, that high ground that sits over the crater field south portion. We've seen this high ground be so effective before. For Twisted Minds, sat high up on this perch, this is where they can try and confirm themselves in towards that middle of the pack. Because right now, in 12th place, this is the time you need to extract value. You get a massive shift like this with the oversight over so many teams. It's a question of how many points can you earn because of it.
Mines, they had a strong position over on Museum. Didn't do too much with it, though. So hoping that can change here for them with that massive high ground and a very central spot as well, like you say, John. Silas finding Hydro from True Rippers. Getting good amount of damage in there. True Rippers again losing a player. Harsh now spotted by Silas on the drive-by 2. Seems to be the new trend.
Roll up. Well, the roll up and then the passenger side switch, lean out, take the shots. It is the new drop shot, you know? It is the new drop shot. It seems like players are, in some cases, effectively. In others, it does make you look very silly when it doesn't work, though, because you just stop dead in the vehicle and you're just like, oh, I'm out of bullets now. Please don't shoot at me. And you don't have any speed, and you're basically a goner. You have to hop out, and then you have to reload. It takes a long, long time to recover from a misplay on that front. So unless you have the backup, it is a difficult time. True Rippers just losing players by the minute, seemingly. Jelly getting picked back up now. They are fairly central for the time being, though, Blank, so maybe they'll be able to find something here. Twisted Minds still yet to extract an Elim, but then again, that's the same story for almost the entirety of the lobby.
Judo gonna take some shots at the distance.
I believe that's towards Influence Rage.
He's just trying to destroy vehicles right now, which is fair enough. Easy for Bad Boy finds. Safg will flush him. And we've got a bit of a crossing to be made for Nuclear Zone over on the western side, and they should be in sight lines of Twisted Minds come next circle, which is around 20 seconds from now.
Yeah, the western side's very open on the route out of El Pozo, but you can swing north and try and push in towards Alliance. It might be more favorable to do that. We'll have to wait and see if they can make that call. Arc Red in a standoff with Geeky right now. And Kevin hiding up on the staircases. Looking real home alone right now for him, but he's managed to lay the trap. Only one round there. Did he ever set to single fire? That's not great. Either way, he's going to drop down and make up for it with the first. Unfortunately, the trade is there. That was, it felt like he didn't have the selector right on that.
I'd agree. I would absolutely agree with you. I think that was set to single shot and not two burst. And that's GK down.
Oh, and he had complete drop on them. They had no idea. They didn't even check the angle.
Yeah,
that's a real hair puller.
Yeah, honestly, I've been in that situation a fair few times as well. So, well, I was gonna say I don't blame him, but you're at PMGC, so you absolutely should be blamed for that. Yeah. But I have been in that situation. It does feel horrible.
Yeah, that would be the worst mistake today if Hero hadn't naded his teammate directly in the face for no reason. But there you go. That's just he's playing under the smoke cover right now. Hero jumping on that grenade, or rather throwing it at Sook for him.
It's too. I mean, having the drop on that's been all the difference to get up towards 80 points and see yourself like even with Influence Rage there, because like you say, he absolutely did have the drop on them. Ragnarok at least is able to find Easy for Bad Boy, trying to put some more points on the board. ETSH getting shot out by Nuclear Zone. Fajita finds Shiva. And now Ragnarok is down.
Last player for Geeky eliminated. It's not going to feel good.